Well, hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now right here I have a video that I should have uploaded quite a while ago. I cannot really explain why I'm having such a hard time in catching up with these things, but better late than never. So one of my subscribers, Sugar, has done a tremendous job putting together a showcase that I have not yet fully viewed, just so I get to react on it real time. And he has taken his Mr. Negative all the way up to rank 4. Now I know that there are a couple other rank 4 Mr. Negatives in the game, but we have a very interesting and cool showcase of this guy. So his masteries are No Recall plus Resonate, and team for most of the fights includes Venom, Shang-Chi, Nick Fury, and Quake to give those extra weight charges. So let's see how it works out. Here we can, well, first immediately we can see that degeneration heal there happening. But yeah, I kind of got smacked because of the cold snap and unable to evade. But we can see that he's barely degenerating, and he's regenerating 580 per tick. So that is quite a substantial region over there. And basically, yeah, in almost any situation where degen is involved, Mr. Negative, if awakened, is an absolute healing machine. If unawakened, at the very least, he can mitigate that damage. My own Mr. Negative, unfortunately, is unawakened. It does kind of really annoy me, to be honest. Here we can see that those degens from the level 2 definitely put in plenty of work. So this is, again, variant 2 fight on the Starburst lane. And, well, let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens there on this Starburst. So once again, a massive, that's a 14k per tick degen. That's like nearly 30,000 damage per second. 721, Tyranny and Power Shield. Seem to recall this path. So let's see what interesting thing is going to happen here. So we have Tyranny plus Power Shield. So also remember that Venom is not a Spider-Verse hero. Sorry, Mr. Negative is not a Spider-Verse hero, therefore Mr. Negative can easily evade. He has set himself up pretty much perfectly with that level 2, and that is a 25k degen per tick on a Power Shield, because obviously you do get the 400% potency. So that's 40,000 damage plus per second. 623 Icarus. So Mr. Negative obviously is quite awesome against Icarus, because not only you get to transfer all the Furies into your Dark Energy, therefore you can always have ready, locked and loaded level 2, but you also regenerate, and obviously that's superbly helpful, and then you can benefit from all the Furies, and that's even more impressive. He seems to be playing the game how big of a degen you can come up with, and it was 30k per tick. Now 721 against Ebony Maw, again another nice level 2. Man, I like this. Editing is quite good in this video. Maybe, just maybe, I need to ask him a few tips myself, because I think he can do a better job editing than I can do. 733, Rising Sun Stage Fright. Ooh, I remember. This is the Hercules cheese path. This is the path that you typically cheese with Hercules. So let's see what is going to happen here. So every time he strikes the opponent, he gains a Fury buff and gains a bunch of power as well. And it's kind of important to get rid of those Furies before they reach 10, otherwise you can start degenerating. But now, first level 2 is active, and I think he's just going to go for another level 2, most likely. He's definitely doing a very good job, and also the fact that he does not have to parry ever is obviously superbly helpful. So now he's just going to go for a decently good level 3. The level 3 feel is also kind of somewhat underrated, because you can do extra damage and you can heal from your level 3 as well, I think. And here we are, and on this path, on this node, obviously you have very little to no problems gaining power, because you gain power on every strike you land on the opponent. And yeah, might not be as stupidly broken interaction as it is with Hercules, but it's definitely more than effective. Spoil, Drax dies, he will never hit my block once. Fair play. showing up healing, moderate ability to heal from special 3. Okay, so from 2%, level 3, and let's see. And that healing got him all the way back to 18%. It's not the most potent heal in the game, but it's definitely not the worst one either. There are champions who have worse healing for sure, and it's just a nice thing to have. Plus, on top of that, obviously, he has his heal in case he degens, and he also can have his Venom synergy, where you can heal if you do not dash back. So with 12 light energy, he's going to go from 12% to 31%. So 12 light energy is 19%. It's not too bad at all. It's not too bad at all. Right. Now we have Mr. Negative against Hood in 7-3-4. Power Suppression, Power Snack, Arms Race, Feats of Energy. Don't think I actually remember this path, but let's see what happens there against Hood. And it only has been like 5 minutes in the showcase, and he has already showed so many different interesting fights for us. So, well, good edited collection here. So he's at 11 light energy, 13 light energy, so he's gonna convert them. Because of the Quake interaction, it goes all the way up to 20. Now he has to go for a nice level 2. And with that level 2, he ought to have quite good degen. Then he gets to spam some of his heavy attacks. And since the opponent is power locked here, that's quite interesting here. That's quite interesting here. I think that will be the end of the fight. I think that will be the end of the fight. Not too bad. Not too bad. I remember that path now. That was actually a very annoying path. I used Mr. Fantastic for pretty much all of it. And this Super Skull, I remember being an absolute nightmare. I remember this Super Skull being an absolute nightmare of a guy to go up against. I end up using either one time I used Mr. Fantastic and one time I used Void. And with Void, it was just such a long and hard fight. It really was. So I'm kind of interested actually in this one because I seem to recall this to be one of the more tricky and annoying fights of this particular chapter in Act 7. So now he has 17 dark energies, and he has the double petrify obviously, so he can reverse the power gain, and at this point I think he can start spamming his heavy attack here, if he can nail it. Oh, unfortunately he didn't quite catch him up on it, but it should be fair game. And there we are. That power lock is still active. I think that Resonate here is helping him to keep that power lock, or that ender weight, alive, I believe. Now he's at level 2. And he can keep on spamming his heavy attack. It's actually a very... I really like this pack, because I remember how annoying and tricky the Super Skull was. The Super Skull was really frustrating. 736 Safeguard, Paradox Line. 5 hits on combo meter, plus Paradox. Oh, this is an annoying path. I hated those paths where you had to count your combos and stuff like that. But let's see what happens here. So he has built up to 3 Paradox charges, and he does 10k degen per tick. Not too bad. Took some block damage. And let's see what happens here. He's not too far off finishing off this fight. The block damage from these 7.36 opponents is quite big though. Definitely is. But yeah, the degen definitely can do a very, very solid job getting around safeguard stuff. And this video is doing a really good showcase and showing why I personally also really like Mr. Negative. Obviously, I'm not as good with him as Sugar is, because obviously there is a reason why he chose to rank him up. But let's see against Mysterio. Mysterio obviously is quite finicky opponent, and you don't really want him using special attacks. That's why having Delirium on Mysterio as much as possible is always really helpful. And one of my personal favorite things about Mr. Negative is that you can often get to your level 2 before opponent has a chance to drop a level 1. Mysterio never throws a special. Yes, exactly. That's kind of one of the nicer things about Mr. Negative. Second fight, Paradox built. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. So we have Juggernaut. So he has a couple of light energy that he converts into dark ones very well. Very well. So he's probably gonna go 6. Probably wants a couple more lights so he can get to 20 dark. There's a neat little trick that you often use with Mr. Negative as well, is where you hold your block, and when opponent has hit their first hit in your block, then you can start charging a heavy attack, and then you can convert your energies. It's just like one of those small things that I personally have been using. If opponents pass the bar of power and you want to safely get rid of your light energy and convert into dark energy, then you can just stand away from the opponent, hold your block, they can dash in, and after they throw their first hit in your block, you can let go of your block and charge heavy attack, and their weight will trigger. But here we go. That big juggernaut easily goes down. So now we have 7-2-3 aspect of war plus buffet. Well, obviously against buffet node, we know for the fact that Mr. Negative is gonna take this because of two of those beautiful petrifies and that intercept on demand. So you can always conveniently get rid of Unstoppable if you need to. And here we are. Here we are. Oh, wait. Mr. Negative. Oh, yeah. And Mr. Negative is immune to buffet to begin with. So that's my bad. Completely seem to forget that sometimes. Mr. Negative can be absolutely immune to buffet. And he's going to go for... What is he going to go for? Let's debate out this level 1. Nails in the intercept and just goes for level 2. It's finished off with 10 degens. Should be more than enough to finish off the fight. Nope, nearly. There we go. There we go. So that is the end of the showcase. Overall, I definitely like this character. I think he's still quite underrated. I think there are more and more uses going to come out of this guy because of his regen on degen, because of his immunity to nullify, because of his ability to never really need to, you know, get hit in his block if you don't want to, and plenty of other very quirky things. And I really, really want to dupe mine now. I really want to dupe mine. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought, and again, huge thank you to Sugar, and apologies for not posting this earlier. Really have no good excuse for it. But here we are right now, and again, better late than never. So thank you very much, and I'm gonna see you guys soon. Later.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next